Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. The Radley corded Dremel, okay? I call it Dremel even though it's not the Dremel brand Dremel. You can just call them rotary tools. I don't really care. It's up to you. I just call them Dremels because to me that's what it is. And it makes life simpler. So this is a multi-speed jobby and it can crank out some serious horsepower because it plugs into the wall. Now if you caught my last video, we talked about the Radley cordless Dremel that I also got yesterday. I had bought this one here for myself. My wife actually bought me the cordless one as well as a snake, which we'll be doing in the next video. I'm trying to keep these separate because I tried to do a whole big video at once and it was like over a half an hour and I figured nobody's gonna stick around that long. So let's try and just do these in smaller blocks, shall we? Anyways, this is a pretty basic kit. It does not come with a stand, which kind of sucks because I thought I had one here, and if I do, I still can't find it. And I also thought I still had one of these Dremels kicking around that were powered. Apparently did not, which was fine because my cordless Dremel that I had that's made by Dremel, it decided to, apparently it seemingly packed it in, but it turned out in the end result after resoldering it, I didn't see a thermal cutoff resistor on the daughter board inside the charging station, but it was probably there anyways, and they don't all look the same anyway, so what do you know, right? So I went through all this hassle and I resoldered everything, rebent the prong connectors up, thinking maybe it's just a prong issue. No, nothing's happening. And we've been getting some recent power outages, and I guess this last one from, I guess, few days ago or something, the flickers that we got spiked the thermal resistor finally. After being plugged in for several years, it just decides to say, I got a spike more than I can handle. And what the thermal resistor does is it cuts off power to prevent damaging your unit, right? And a lot of devices have these things built into them, okay? Even a lot of computer stuff. So anyhow, to no avail, the thing wouldn't take a charge. So I threw it in the box, ready to go into Hazardous Depot with this thing. But then I pulled it out yesterday after we got home, and it had been sitting off of everything for more than 24 hours. And yeah, it all of a sudden jumped back to life last night, started to charge. 5 hours later, it finally stopped charging. And it's like, okay, let's test this. Was it a fake out or not? Turns out it charged the battery. It was totally flatlined. So we are going to be doing some tests to make sure it's going to stay together, you know, by just leaving it off the charger for a few days. And if the battery just goes bleh, well, then I know the battery is definitely gone too in the thing, and it's time to just accept it and ditch it, right? So I do have the replacement Radley cordless version, and I do prefer cordless, but as a backup, I also have this. This was $43. Now, the cordless one's on sale right now at Home Hardware for $20, normally $43. This is $43 for this kit, period, okay? And this one does come with a 3-year warranty. The cordless ones are only coming with a 1 year. Why the difference? Who knows? Anyways, so you do get a bag of goodies with this thing. You're going to get some sanding discs and some little cutoff wheels. No fiber cutoff discs specifically. They put the chintzier ones in this that are also way too small diameter for what I need, but I got the big ones anyways because I got more Dremel bits than I'll ever know what to do with. But you get a sanding drum mandrel and some drums. You get a couple of felt polishers. You get your stones, different types of stones, and we got a couple of, I think we got some diamond cutters in here too someplace. Let me just pour this thing out. Anyhow, we do get quite a few bits in here. Okay, no diamond cutters in this package, but we do get a variety of different stones. Some stones that I don't even have in my other kit, which is nice. So we get some of those, and we get the little screw-on thingy for the felt polisher. You just put it in the little center hole that they've got there for you, and screw it in just like a screw, and away you go. Anyways, so as far as the rest of it goes, we'll take a quick look here. There's nothing to this. You basically, you plug it into a wall. There's also a wrench, which I had kicking around here somewhere. Maybe that's what that other wrench was for. I got so many friggin' Dremel parts. I think I just yeah, I put my wrench in the other box. That's why. The wrench is here though. I've got the wrench. This is the problem when you got too much stuff kicking around. You're like, oh, I think I just mixed it up with something else. That's where that thing goes. Alright, so, yeah, this is the wrench for it. I swapped it into the other box by accident, so that's our wrench. Anyway, let's open this up. Now, I can't remember the exact speed because I threw the box out already, but it's 1.2 amps, 120 volt plug-in, 35-piece accessory kit, 3-year limited warranty. Now it does have multiple speeds in this thing, from 10,000 RPM to 35,000 RPM. Now that's based on no load, so not jamming into stuff. Now these kind of Dremels are fantastic for doing a lot of lighter stuff. I would recommend buying a snake and a stand and hang this up, and then this way you can use the snake for all your fine stuff, because it's kind of hard to maneuver this really in your fingers. It's very bulky and it's very weighty, so you might not want to try doing engraving or anything with something this behemoth in your hand, and then you got the big power cord hanging out, right? However, we're going to plug this little puppy in for you, do a speed and noise test for you so you can get an idea what's happening with it. And there we go. Alright, so you got rotary speed control. Now, I love the rotary controls. I looked at some Dremel brand Dremels that were way more money than this thing, and they're like single speed for like 80 bucks. I'm like, what a joke. I need multiples, right? And this is based off the same type of design as the JobMate ones. And I see a lot of these off-brand ones coming through in different names, even into home hardware. They seem to all be based off the same JobMate design, or they've made a small change to it. And JobMate doesn't exist anymore, which is actually quite the shame, because they made fantastic Dremels. I still have one of their drill presses that's like, I don't know, it's old, but the damn thing won't die. And it's a great drill press, very accurate too for such a cheapie. But anyways, it works. That's the main thing, right? It's got to work. Let's fire this thing up. We're going to start with the lowest speed, obviously. That's plenty of power for doing a lot of stuff right there. Now, you're going to get a lot more torque at a lower RPM starting point, or a lower RPM like this, than you do out of the cordless ones, because, well, this is 120 volts. More torque, same RPM, right? This can also kick her up. So that's the noise we're going to get. I'm going to just dial through all 6 speeds here. That's max. That's not too shabby. It's actually quieter than my last off-branded one from Home Hardware, which I have no clue where it went. I thought I still had it. It might be in a box or something in my shop. I have no idea. I got to clean up my shop anyways, because it's a disaster from, it looked like a typhoon hit it in there, so. And I'm OCD when it comes to organization, but in the last year, I've let my shop just go to heck, you know. Anyways, so I've used this for doing a few little cuts on some things, especially with arrows, because I talked about this in the last video. I cut up arrows. I turn broken arrows into pens, okay, because they're useful for that at least. And also, I don't know what I'm going to do with the other shaft remainders yet, other than I can rebuild them up and make more pens, right? Anyway, maybe I'll start making and selling arrow pens. Money's money, right? So, and besides, it's a craft. But either way, I think that so far, this is looking like a pretty good purchase for 43 bucks. Okay, now that's 43.99 Canadian, just so you know. Now, if you are going to be looking for a snake, stay tuned for our next video, because we do have a snake made by Benchmark, and this is another brand that Home Hardware carries, and this is going to be a universal type device, and we're going to talk to you about that one. And it will guaranteed work on any Dremel. And if you had a fast enough drill press to make it worthwhile, you could even just chuck it into a drill press chuck and use it that way too if you wanted. It's kind of the neat little design that they've come up with compared to the other types we've had, which had to be compatible with your Dremel version, right? And we all know that Dremel brand Dremel snakes are not always user-friendly for other brands of Dremel tools. So anyways, but there is a nice little organizer thing in here for all your bits. I've got case loads of Dremel bits I've collected over the years, because many of you know that we used to do custom gun grips for people, and we no longer do that. We haven't in several years now. And as much as I wouldn't mind getting back into it at some point, I just don't find it feasible financially for anybody, because the amount of money we would have to charge for grips nowadays compared to when we used to do them would be near triple to quadruple the price, and that's really not worth it, okay? Because wood prices for exotic wood went way up, and then cost of materials for the Dremel discs and everything, because we made everything strictly by hand. Very few tools were required, but one of the major tools was a Dremel, because we hand carved everything. We never repeated any design. Everything was a one-of-a-kind, one-of set. And anyways, and I still got one set of grips kicking around here, at least, maybe two that I've made, but they're for my own guns. But when it comes to Dremel, so they are great for a multitude of projects. Engraving, sanding, polishing. You can polish even jewelry with, well, the lower powered ones. I would recommend something like a cordless version for that, because they have the requirements of size and ease of use and so on for doing that. If you're going to polish jewelry and that, and you're going to be careful, you know, you need to be careful with that stuff, so you need something that's more suitable for that. But whatever you're doing for projects that would require a Dremel, this thing can handle. Light to heavy duty projects, no problem. My initial impressions of a review for this, there will be an update, because I am going to be putting this thing to a lot of use too. This is actually going to go into my shop and get set up for doing stuff in there that I want to be able to do that are a little bit more tasking than what my cordless model can handle. But either way, I will still use it for a few lighter projects as well. And I did testing with this one too yesterday. I'm cutting some arrow shafts, and yeah, it'll just zip through them without thinking. But the thing is you have to have like maybe only this much sticking out, and you can nip it off. Otherwise, that's too bulky, where the other ones I can get right in there and have this much sticking out, and I can still cut through the shaft. Just kind of depends on what I'm doing. But you would require a snake for this thing if you want to do the same thing that you can do with a very small portable unit, which, if you want to take a look at that video, this is the one we're talking about. And this, don't put a snake on this, because I did it and it was actually hilarious. This thing started spinning on my lap, and it's like, whoa, wait a second. So I had to wedge it. Anyways, but the snake takes a lot of power from the Dremel, so don't use a snake on a cordless one. This thing does not require the snake. You just need a big cutting disc, and you can get into a lot of those areas that I guarantee you're gonna need a snake for. But anyway, so overall though, I have no problem with, you know, for being a powered model, I would definitely want to say that, at least for now, I would say that this thing would probably deserve somewhere around that, I don't know, I would give it a 4.5 currently. Now, it's going to get used a lot over the next few months, and we're going to see how well it holds. and then we'll come back and we'll be doing update reviews on this one and the cordless one, because they're going to both get a lot of use, and we'll see what happens with our review numbers. But otherwise, that's where we're at. Go check yours out at your local home hardware if you're in Canada. If you're not in Canada, well, try and find out who else sells Radley in your area, or maybe in the US or whatever country you're watching this video from. Check out Radley. I think they're not bad for being a lower spectrum machine. You know, and it was better choicing to get this and financially cheaper and less hassles than going to Amazon this time. And I still shop on Amazon, but I also like to shop locally too, because we got to keep our local people also in business. So it doesn't hurt to spend a little bit of money once in a while locally as well, instead of just going on Amazon all the time, right? So, and it's a different brand I've never heard of, so I don't mind giving stuff a shot, which helps you guys out too. So, but stay tuned. Give us around, what's this, like, we're at the end of August, so September, October, November, December. Let's come back to this around maybe December or January with these two. There'll be different videos either way, but we'll come back and we'll talk about these, or maybe we'll just do them both in one video, because it will be simpler that way probably, for the both of you, well, for all of us, because it'll be very short, right? It's just going to be an update review on both, right? So we'll do it as a twofer, okay? Anyway, in the meantime, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, comments down below, and stay tuned. We have the video coming up as well for the benchmark snake that I picked up, and so I'm gonna keep this one out of the box right now. So see ya.